This is the story of Headingley 2019, a match that defied cricketing logic, shattered records, and became one of the greatest Ashes Tests of all time. But to understand why this was more than just a win, we have to start at the very beginning. The 2019 Ashes carried unusual weight. Just weeks earlier, England had lived their greatest cricketing dream, winning the World Cup in the most dramatic final ever played. The nation was still buzzing, the players still heroes. But Test cricket is a different beast. And Australia arrived hungry, determined to retain the Ashes on English soil for the first time since 2001. First Test, Edgbaston and England started brightly, dismissing Australia cheaply on day one. But then, Steve Smith happened. After a year-long ban for ball tampering, Smith returned to the Ashes with a vengeance, scoring 144 in the first innings and 142 in the second. It was a masterclass in concentration and resilience. England's bowlers tried everything. Bouncers, cutters, changes of angle, nothing worked. Smith soaked up the pressure, broke their spirit, and Australia won by 251 runs. From day one, the message was clear. To win this Ashes, England had to get past Steve Smith. Second Test, Lord's reign ruled the first 2 days. But when play finally began, Jofra Archer made an entrance. England fans will never forget. His 96-mile-per-hour thunderbolts left Australia rattled, and one of them struck Steve Smith on the neck, forcing him to retire hurt temporarily. Yet even that drama couldn't produce a result. The test ended in a draw. Australia 1-0 up with 3 to play. Third test, Headingley. England needed a win. Australia just needed one more victory to keep the urn. Day one began under overcast skies, perfect bowling conditions, but Australia's innings was a scrap. Marnus Labuschagne, Smith's concussion replacement, anchored the batting with 74, while Jofra Archer claimed 6 wickets. Australia were bowled out for 179, a total England should have chased with ease. Instead, they crumbled. In just 27.5 overs, England were 67 all out, their lowest Ashes total in 71 years. Hazelwood took 5 wickets, Cummins and Pattinson mopped up the rest. By stumps on day 2, Australia's lead stretched to over 280. The Ashes looked gone. On the morning of day 4, England were set 359 to win. The record books were against them. No England side had ever chased more than 332 in the Ashes at home. But Joe Root and Rory Burns started positively. Root, in particular, batted with a calm defiance. Australia's bowlers kept probing outside off, hoping for a mistake. But Root was disciplined, leaving anything not threatening the stumps. Ben Stokes joined Root in the middle. At first, he barely scored on 2 runs from his first 50 balls. This was no counterattack yet. This was survival, earning points. Australia sensed their moment when Hazelwood dismissed Root for 77. England still needed over 150. Then wickets tumbled. Bairstow, Butler, Archer, gone. Chris Wokes too. Suddenly it was 286 for 9. 73 still required. Jack Leach the last man in. The Headingley crowd fell silent. But Stokes, he wasn't done. What followed was 60 minutes of cricket that belongs in folklore. Stokes began manipulating the strike perfectly, refusing singles early in overs, then exploding late with boundaries. Nathan Lyon was reverse swept into the western terrace. Cummins was driven down the ground. Hazelwood was pulled for 6 into the crowd. Australia tightened the field. Every man was either on the rope or in catching positions. Yet Stokes found gaps where there weren't any. The crowd grew louder with each run. Australia grew more desperate with each miss. Then came the moments that turned this into legend. The missed run out. With just 2 runs to win, Jack Leach nearly got run out, but Nathan Lyon fumbled the ball. The wasted review. Australia had burned their last DRS earlier on a hopeless LBW shout against Leach. Moments later, Stokes was hit in front, but they couldn't review. Replays showed he would have been out. With scores level, Stokes crashed Cummins through the covers. Game over. England had chased 359 to win by 1 wicket. Stokes finished unbeaten on 135 not out. Jack Leach's famous one, not out, became part of cricketing folklore. For Australia, it was heartbreak. They had the urn in sight and somehow let it slip. The series would end 2-all with Australia retaining the Ashes, but Headingley remained England's victory. It wasn't just a match, it was a miracle. For England, it wasn't just a win, it was resurrection. This was a team that had been humiliated only a day earlier, bowled out for a miserable 67. These newspapers had sharpened their knives, critics had declared the Ashes lost, and yet here they were, celebrating one of the greatest Test victories of all time. Many compared Ben Stokes instantly to Ian Botham's 1981 miracle on the very same ground. Another match where England had snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. The parallels were impossible to ignore, and Headingley had once again become the stage for cricket's most outrageous drama. For Ben Stokes, the redemption arc was complete. Just 3 years earlier, he had been the man left broken in Kolkata, smashed for 4 consecutive sixes by Carlos Brathwaite in the 2016 T20 World Cup final. His career had seemed destined to be remembered for heartbreak, but in the summer of 2019, he transformed that pain into fuel. First came his heroic 84 not out in the World Cup final at Lord's, dragging England to their first ever world title. And now, with his unbeaten 135 at Headingley, he etched his name permanently into Ashes folklore. From villain to savior, Stokes' journey was the stuff of sporting legend. Australia, meanwhile, were left shattered. Nathan Lyon's missed run-out, the overturned LBW, and the fielding errors would haunt them for years. They knew they had let the Ashes slip from their grasp in the cruelest way possible. And so the 2019 Ashes will always be remembered, not just for Australia retaining the urn, but for Headingley. The day cricket reminded us why we love it. A day when one man's courage inspired a nation, and when the impossible became reality. This was more than a test match. This was history. Cricket is a game of numbers, but what happened at Headingley can't be measured. Not in runs or wickets or minutes at the crease. It can only be felt. The belief of a man who refused to lose, and a moment that reminded us why we watch sport at all. If you enjoyed reliving this incredible moment, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Factover, and join us for more legendary cricket stories from around the world. Thanks for watching.